Hi there. It's Andrea the Book Lady, also known as the Astro Tracker. And I was just thinking today about mistakes we make. And I've had people ask me, what are the 5 biggest mistakes that people assume about life and astrology and things like that? I'm just going to tackle one today, which I think the biggest mistake that we as human beings make is assuming that life is chaotic, because it isn't. Now, astrologers know that, because what do? We study the cycles of the planets and the asteroids and things like that in the heavens. So we know that, and by the way, you know it too, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. There's going to be a full moon and a new moon somewhere along the month, and we can actually track and look when that's going to be. Scientists and our meteorologists and folks like that, they can tell you thousands of years in advance when a certain eclipse is going to repeat itself, repeat its exact path. Sometimes it goes where we live and sometimes it goes somewhere else where other people live. Well, we can actually tell when the one that's going to go on our path is going to happen. Not for a long time, by the way, for those of us in the Midwest. But bottom line is, we already know. That proves to me that life is not chaotic. Because here's the other thing. If you look outside, the sun and the moon, right? How about the seasons? We always know there's going to be a spring. We don't know exactly when. We've got to turn to the groundhog for that. Bottom line is, we know there's going to be a spring. We know there's going to be a summer. Don't know how bad it's going to be. Oklahomans don't know exactly which day it's going to happen, and sometimes it fakes us out. But bottom line is, we know there's going to be a spring. We know there's going to be a summer. We know there's going to be a fall. We know there's going to be a winter. We're going to go through that cycle every year, no matter how long or short, depending on where you live. Those kinds of seasons are. People in New England get more well-defined seasons than we do here in Oklahoma, and certainly more well-defined than the people who live in Southern California, for example, and Florida. But bottom line is that we know about the seasons. We know, and by the way, look at the animals outside. They're just living the dream, right? They have no fear that food is out there, that what they need is out there. They're just doing their thing. The birds, the trees, they just automatically know, I'm coming out in the spring. They're coming out. They're going to blossom. The flowers, I've got all my bulbs that are blooming out there. I didn't have to tell them what to do. They knew what to do. Guess what? We know what to do too. We've just forgotten. Human beings have forgotten that we have patterns and cycles, just like the animals, just like the trees, just like my bulbs coming up, just like the seasons, just like the sun and the moon, the astronauts coming back. They're probably a lot clearer about what some of those patterns are, and I'm sure they are just elated and awed about everything that they just went through, slingshotting around the moon like that. Boomerang. They were doing a boomerang thing. Astrologers know that we have patterns. I, as an astrologer, can teach you your patterns. I can teach you your weekly patterns. I can teach you your yearly patterns. It all shows up in the heavens, because guess what else? It's divinely ordered. We know that. But just because we dress and wear hats and have a house to live in and all of those, to go to work and all of that, we have forgotten that we are animals, and that we are part of nature, and that we are part of God's divine universe. But guess what? We are part of it, and we do have patterns, and I, as an astrologer, can help you decipher those. So that's what astrology, one of the things astrology is about. But, do not mistake. Your life is not chaotic. It is ordered. Yes, there are going to be some rough spots, but guess what? Those rough spots are ordered. It's one thing I can tell you. One of the rough spots is going to be. One of the good spots are going to be. When are you going to get the job you've been waiting for? Are you going to meet your soulmate? Who is it? When are they coming? Things like that. This is what astrologers can do because we follow the planets. We follow the symbology that has been connected to the planets by, guess who? Scientists. They're the ones who named things. And we just interpret that and look at the repetitive cycles. So that's what we do. So make no mistake, your life is not chaotic unless you choose to get drunk, strip naked, and run down the street. Well, then you might get arrested. Might be fun, but it might make your life a little chaotic. But bottom line, I can help you avoid chaos pretty much, or at least be able to respond to chaos in a way where you feel prepared. And so that's what I'm here to do. So let me help you. Booklady at astrotracker.com. See y'all.